you it's treat me bad. Break my heart and leave me sad. Oh, got it. Woo! I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. What's going on, everybody? Gave y'all a little bit of a medley of that Motown sound. Didn't that sound good? Oh my God. Well, like I said, welcome to Junior's World of Soul. I'm so happy y'all are back for a new video. This video is part 1 of a 6-part video. Oh my God, we're gonna have fun with these 6-part videos. I can't wait. You know, I came up with this topic because I came up with this whole idea because I was watching the breaks, and the breaks that came on VH1 that talked about 1990s hip hop, and they was playing a lot of the music during that era, and it was just like, oh my God, you felt like you were in the 1990s. It felt really, really good. So I said, yo, I haven't done videos about a specific era of R&B and soul. I said, why not do a 6-part video? So, as y'all see, I came in with the Motown sound, which was hot, so we're going to start with the 60s era. Now, I'm not talking about songs. Well, listening to those songs, clearly, Marvin Ain't That Peculiar, The Supremes, Baby Love, Shake Me, Wake Me When It's Over by the Four Tops, and I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch by the Four Tops. Those songs definitely give you the 60s kind of vibe. But in this video, I want to give y'all 3 albums that really I feel like define 60s R&B. I really wanted to do that for y'all. So, I'm going to start y'all with another medley. Y'all know we like to get our groove on. So, you cannot tell me when you hear these 3 songs you don't feel that 60s era. And we going to start this way. Come on. Some other guys you knew before. Oh, snap, I hit the note. Okay, another one. And we gonna do it like this. I think everybody sings along to this song. On a cloudy day, when it's cold outside, I got the month of May. Yeah. Well, I guess, go on, sing, David. And the last one, I feel like this defines me. And if anybody knows this, y'all definitely gonna know. Yeah, this definitely defines Junior for sure. Definitely watching so many of his videos, this definitely defined him. Don't make me get up. Oh, hey. Woo! Now, that 60s mix was so tough. That mix was so tough. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this video. I'm so excited. So, y'all, we gonna get into these 3 albums that I feel like defines it. So since I started with Stax, well, I didn't start with Stax, I started with Motown, but I ended it with, you know, Sam and Dave, Hold On, I'm coming, Soul Man. So, I'm so excited, y'all. I'm, like, so happy with this video because this is the era that I like talking about. And, I'm going to keep y'all for a minute, but y'all going to hang in there with me. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do with these videos. But, yeah, I felt like Motown was more single-worthy. Like, they gave good singles. Albums, I felt that was left to Stax. So, I ended it with Soul Man with Sam and Dave. And the first album I want to discuss is their brother on that label. He was part of Stax family. He was on Volt, but that was a part of Stax. But Otis Redding, my second favorite singer, male singer of all time. Oh my God. Now, the Otis Blue album, I feel as though really defined the 60s R&B and what it was evolving to. Because I think Berry Gordy actually changed it because he made soul pop, but Otis Redding stuck with the soul. And his album, Otis Blue, is just so legendary. It showed you, it kind of gave you a feeling what the South was about, because Motown was killing it. Detroit was, they were murdering it. Like, they were murdering the Billboard charts, and that's what white America saw. But I felt like Otis Redding still, we had that gospel backwoods kind of singing that wasn't kind of crossover material, even though he had crossover songs. But I felt like, you know, Otis was for us. Like we say now, like we could say, you know, Beyonce, that's for, you know, us and them. But we feel like somebody like Mary J. Blige was able to cross over, but she was for us. If that was a good thing to say. If I made the right comparison, maybe I did, maybe I did. But y'all get it. Y'all get it. So, like I said, his album, Otis Blue, so legendary in my opinion. Oh my God. One of my favorite bands of the 1960s has to be Booker T and the MGs with Isaac Hayes on piano. Let me tell y'all, they are dope. They were Stax band, and that band is so legendary because of Isaac Hayes. Like I was saying today, if you didn't know about Isaac Hayes, you did not know him just for Shaft and Walk On By. He's been in it for a while. He has produced so many songs in the 60s. If you don't know about Isaac Hayes, go do your research. I came in with one of the songs that he wrote, Soul Man, by Sam and Dave. He wrote that and produced it. Like, Isaac Hayes was dope, and Booker T and the MGs were like dope. They were funk, they brought the funk, and they were just soulful dudes. Like, the production is amazing. A lot of the Stax records that came out, like from Carla Thomas and you know, Sam and Dave, and they were the main ones. Like the Funk Brothers and Holland, Doja Holland was for Motown, Booker T and the MGs was for Stax. But they produced Otis Blue, and let me tell y'all, that album felt like a live album, but it was really they recorded in the studio and did all the mixing, but it felt so like a big live album, like it was a party. And that's what I felt like 60s R&B was then. Like, even though Motown had the party records and the hand clap and the tambourine and the Motown sound, I felt like still Otis with that album, it was very soulful, but you were still ready to party with it. So we're going to go into it. The first song, Old Man Trouble. Now, to me, this is what Otis Redding was about. He was a crooner that sung and had that gospel roots and had that grits-eating soul on him. And I felt like Old Man Trouble, to me, what I got from it, because from music, you get a lot of different things. And from this song, I felt like it was speaking for a lot of the brothers that was going through, you know, a lot of issues back then with white America. Let's just keep it real. And I felt like Otis might have been singing this to a girl, but I also took it that he was singing it for the brothers that was going through the struggle. You know, we just, you know, quote unquote got, you know, with the civil rights movement and getting our respect and quote unquote, but this song really gave us that feeling like, yo, we want something better for us. And at a part of this song, I felt like Otis, that it just him vocal running and just him, that deep wood soul, really, you got that feeling. So, Old Man Trouble, y'all. Come on, man. That part right there, you cannot tell me you did not feel Otis on that record. He like, trouble, stay away, and that's what a lot of brothers were saying back in the 60s. So I felt like we already knew Otis was that type of singer. He's not going to come out with a party record. He's going to come out what he's known for. Songs like this when he's just crooning, and not crooning, but he's crooning, and he's singing, and that's just what it was. The next record clearly is influential of the 60s because it became one of the best songs of all time, but not from him. It was stolen, like he said, quote unquote. It was stolen, and this person turned this song into one of the greatest songs to ever be released, and it helped her in her breakthrough album, and it actually is on this list. But we're going to talk about Mr. Otis Redding's version of Respect. What you want, honey, you got it. And what you need, you know I got it. Hey. Come on, man. They playing the hell out of them horns, man. Booker T, y'all better go off, man. Oh, my God. As much as I do like Aretha, but I'm sorry, I like Otis's version better. Even though the world loves Aretha's version better, I love Otis's version better, especially musically. Musically, it was, oh my God, like musically, it crushes Aretha's in my opinion. It just does. You might not feel that way, but just listen to it. Put some headphones on, listen to it, and just zone out. Like, you hear Otis's voice on it, but then you hear Booker T with the band, with the drums and the horns and everything, and they just going in on this record. Oh, my God, you cannot tell me. Yes, man. Okay. So, he gave you enough of that. Y'all see I'm going off there because I love Otis's version. The next song, Jerry Butler, who was part of the Impressions, but he left, and he sung Your Precious Love Means More to Me. Sorry, I tried to get kind of deep like him, but y'all know the song. If you don't, I'll put that in the more info box too for y'all to get on that too. But him and Otis Redding actually wrote I've Been Loving You Too Long they were at a bus station or the planes or they were waiting for some type of transportation, and they wrote this song together. Unbelievable. Oh, that sounds good. And that is Isaac Hayes playing the piano. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Like, Isaac Hayes is that dude. I actually like Isaac Hayes a little better as a producer and a songwriter more than I did with his vocals. Just my opinion. But back to Otis, though. Let me tell you something. This song also explains who Otis was. If you knew about Otis, he sung songs that was backwoods, and you got that feeling of being in the woods on a country road trying to find, just walking, and you just thinking about life, and you're walking down these dirt roads, and Otis definitely gave you that type of feeling. This song, so many people remade this song, but the one that I think is a lot memorable is when Tina Turner did it when she was with Ike, and she was on stage, and she talks about it in her book where she said that, you know, Ike was making her do stuff with the mic and kind of getting really kind of nasty and things like that. But this song is another reason I could see a dude picking a chick up off the floor, on the floor at a house party, and they just start grinding with each other. This just reminds me of when I'm going back to Cooley High again, and this was based in the 60s, that when Coach Cheese picked up the girl off the floor that had a man, and he picked her up, and they just started dancing. They grinding, and he feeling on the butt a little bit, and then her man. But that moment where a guy can grab a girl and just start like Otis is singing for him. You know what I mean? So this song definitely gave me a feeling of the 60s. The next song I'm going to talk about is because Otis Blue was a cover album. It was a lot of covers on it. And he did Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. Now, Otis knew, I think back then, a lot of these guys kind of knew what they needed to do to have that crossover kind of appeal. And the Rolling Stones during the 60s was popping. They were popping. They really was, even though they was influenced by R&B and soul music. Just ask Mick Jagger that just did the thing on James Brown, Get On Up. But anyway, they were influenced by black music. So he took one of their songs and made it his own, and Satisfaction. And to come to find out, he was looking at the lyrics and didn't even sing the right lyrics. So if you think about it, if you listen to this song, if you listen to Otis and his country self, he gets away with it. But a lot of these words ain't the right ones.
I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction.
I tried. That just it's a toe tapper. It's a toe tapper. Still give me that 60s vibe. I could see me, you know, at a performance, like when I go online and watch a lot of these, you know, Ed Sullivan and, you know, Shing Ding. I can really see Otis getting down with his tight suit pants, with his big old shoes, and a shirt with no jacket, and he just getting down, shorty. Because I was watching one of his documentaries, and they was like, yo, Otis used to get on the stage and he used to murder it. That's why sometimes, like when Sam and Dave, when they did an interview, you know, a couple of years ago, they said, man, they used to suck. They had to get on after him because Otis will tear up the stage, and I can just imagine him on a stage somewhere in Memphis, Tennessee, going off on this song, and everybody in the crowd, I can't get a no, that country, and they don't even sing it like that. So that gave me that vibe. Now, with this album, also, Otis Redding really did a lot of covers. And he did, you know, The Temptations. He did My Girl. But this album also was a defining moment of the 60s because he did a lot of covers of Sam Cooke. And everybody know that Sam Cooke was a big hit, like when he passed in 1964, when he died. So when this album was released in 1965, it just showed that what Sam Cooke meant to the culture. And he did A Wonderful World, and he did A Change Is Gonna Come. And now, Sam Cooke, that's one song from him, Sam Cooke, that I can't listen to. I literally listen to Sam Cooke's A Change Is Gonna Come maybe 2 or 3 times because I can't get through it because it's so eerie, and it makes you feel to me, it feels like death. Like, I was watching Sam Cooke's, you know, documentary, and Bobby Womack told him that, yo, this sounds eerie, it sounds like death. And Sam Cooke was like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, it sounds like really like eerie. So it's crazy because I can listen to Otis, and Otis has a lot more emotion, but I think the background music of Sam Cooke really makes it. But this, I'm just listening to Otis's voice because Otis's voice for me is really what soul represents. And I'm going to go to the part where you kind of really feel it.
Long time coming, but I know change has got to come, man. Ooh, yes it is.
Now, you know, even hearing from that make you feel like a change was going to come. So when Otis did this song, we felt like there was still a change for Black World. We felt like it was got to be a change. Like, so I felt like this whole album, if you listen to 32 minutes of this album, you really will feel that 60s and where everything was during that time for blacks. And I felt like Otis represented it in this album, so soulful, and that's why Otis Blue has to be a pick for me as defining an album that defined the 60s. So many, you know who really gives me Otis though, to make this current, you know who really gives me Otis vibe? Anthony Hamilton. Let me tell you something. And his background singers, they give me Otis, backwoods, fish frying soul. And that's what Anthony Hamilton gives me. So when I listen to Anthony Hamilton's Coming From Where I'm Coming From and Ain't Nobody Worrying, I get Otis Blue. And I feel that from that. So if you get a chance, I would recommend y'all go listen to Anthony Hamilton's Coming From Where I'm Coming From and Ain't Nobody Worrying, those two albums. And then go listen to Otis Blue, and you cannot tell me that those two doesn't give you that familiar vibe. But with Anthony's, he made it current for the 2000s, but Otis's was definitely gave you that 60s era vibe. So, hopefully, y'all go pick that up. Really, because another person that really enjoyed it was Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin said she loved Otis Redding and she loved the Otis Blue album. She did an interview on, I forgot what show it was, and she said she loves this album. So, definitely tells you another reason why Otis Blue defines the 60s. So, since we were talking about how respect was stolen, Otis always used to say in interviews that the song was stolen from me. Well, he couldn't say that because yes he could. Cause I was about to say, wait a minute, Otis died in 1968, but this album came out in 1967. We are talking about one of the best vocalists of all time, Miss Aretha Franklin. Her breakthrough album, I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You, definitely gives you that 60s era of R&B. It spoke to women. It was a woman's type of album. Aretha spoke what women then felt. They wanted respect, and Aretha made it an anthem for women. Even though Otis would say he want respect when he get home, but Aretha was telling the women, we want respect too. And I felt like I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You was definitely a defining album of 60s R&B. And you know, when it first came out, Rolling Stone thought it was horrible. They was just like, it lacked versatility and all this. But then it ended up being on the 500 greatest albums of all time. So how did that work? But anyway, Aretha Franklin influenced so many people with this breakthrough album. Even though you might have knew Aretha before then, because I think Aretha had 8 or 9 albums before this one. But this was her breakthrough one because she was on Columbia, then she went to Atlantic. And Atlantic really kind of gave her that crossover appeal. And that's how, you know, her first single was Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You, if I'm not mistaken. And then Respect is really what really gave Aretha that crossover to pop world. So, let's start with Respect. Da-da-da. Da-da-da.
What you want, baby, I got what you need.
You know I got it, and all I'm asking is for the respect when you get home. Yeah. So y'all can't tell me y'all cannot see women back in the 60s telling they man when they walk through the door, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. Come on now, I can see women nowadays singing that joint, for real, for real. But as much as I love Aretha's voice, as much as I love her, because I do love Aretha, I love her, she's one of my favorite female singers of all time. Her version of Respect, I am not a big fan of it. I am not a big fan of it. But everybody loved it. Everybody singing. I know a lot of my friends, I'm going to call you out. Keita, I love you, girl, but you always say I don't like the biggest single from an artist. That's not true. But in this case, I'm actually helping your argument. But anyway, I just don't. I'm not a big fan of the song. I mean, I can tolerate it. I mean, I know the words. If everybody's starting to sing, I'm with it. And then, hey, if I'm drinking and I'm really gone and, hey, they put that on and we at a club or something or a bar and they put that on, I'm going to start singing with it. I might even cut a rug. But that's the song I really don't feel. But the next song is my favorite Aretha song, and it's actually a cover. I don't know who did it first, but I know Ray Charles did it before her, and it was a big song for him. And let me tell you something. This song really makes you get into your feelings. And I could imagine women in the 60s sitting here saying, oh, that man gets on my nerves, but I'm going to sit here and just drown in my own tears. Aretha brought the soul to this record, and I could just see the women in the 60s at home just crying their eyes out and singing this. So I'm going to get to the part that I love that Aretha goes in. Aretha crying for that man. She really crying for that man, and you really, really, really feel her. I'm telling you. Oh, my God, I love it. And then the end. I'm drowning my own tears. Love that, love that, love that, love that, love that. The next song is definitely women go in on the song. Women go in it now. Women was going in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. And Aretha starts it from the break. Come on.
You're no good, heartbreaker.
You're a liar and you're a cheat. And then women probably was like, you know, you ain't shit. Probably going off on the guy. And I could just imagine them going off, because I could just imagine a couple of people going off on their dudes like, you know, you ain't shit. You whack, blah, 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 blah. You ain't a good dude anyway. But Aretha made the song for the women. Like I said, definitely made the women feel good. Not feel good, but definitely they felt good, especially after hearing this song, so they could sing this to their man. Ooh, that's a good drink there, y'all. I'm having rum and coke. If you can go get y'all one too. You can pause it and come back and then start over again. We can be drinking together if you want to do that. But anyway, the next song is when a man is doing good. And Aretha brought the blues to this record. I must say, she went in on this record, and I love the performance that she did at, this was in the 70s though, live at Fillmore West, and she did this, and the women sang that part. But I'm gonna sing it to the first part that I enjoy that she did, and it is this. Smile. Come on.
Don't send me no doctor.
Fill me up with all those pills. Oh, man. I got a man named Dr. Feelgood. Woo! Oh, Aretha went in on that song, and she called Love is a Serious Business. So, I know when I could just hear the women back then, I dig you, girl, but I just don't got time. I love that, because that was the language back then. Girl, I dig you, but I'm with my man. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. So that song, the next song, Do Right Man, Do Right Woman, definitely is a song that really tells you that, look, I'm only human. And I just love how a woman back then, like Aretha was singing, can be as vulnerable and tell her, look, I'm only human as you. I know I make mistakes. And I just love that. I was about to say something crazy, but no, I'm about to go to that part. So give me a second, y'all. Yeah, so see, those songs was amazing. All 5 of those songs definitely still define the 60s. But Aretha also did a couple of covers on this album of Sam Cooke. See, Sam Cooke was a big, like, the most popular black man in music. And everybody loved him. So when he passed, it hurt. The music world hurt so many people. And Aretha on her breakthrough album, she covered Good Times and she covered A Change Was Gonna Come. And I just love her beginning. And check it out.
There's an old friend that I want to say something that touched
mouth, and it began this way. Come on, Aretha. By the river, woo, woo, you can feel that, man. So, let me tell y'all, Aretha's I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Love You definitely talked for the women of the 1960s, definitely soul for women. You know what I'm saying? The black women will play this record, and even the white ones, they loved it too, because Aretha had a lot of crossover hits with this. So it wasn't just our community vibe, but Aretha was talking for our community and talking for the women in the black community, the soul that they were singing. They just didn't have that. Now, don't get me wrong, you had great singers, like you had Patty Allen, and then you had Gladys, and you had, you know, all Diana, but Diana was catering to the commercial, mainstream world. Aretha had that kind of voice that wasn't popish. She had a soulful kind of voice, so she was talking for the women. And this album just talked for them for the 1960s. So if you cannot tell me that I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Loved You did not define 60s R&B during that time. And this album was Aretha's breakthrough, and I felt like this album reminds me of two albums. Really, because Mary's What's the 411 album definitely was a breakthrough. It spoke to the women in the hood that couldn't feel Mary. She dressed like them. She talked like them. And that's just what it was. During that time, before Mary came out, you had Whitney and them wearing all these gowns and all this kind of stuff. But Aretha really talked for the women back in the 60s, and Mary did that. But I felt like to feel the soul and all that, Mary's My Life is the soul, like I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Loved You. Because definitely Aretha's album was for women speaking to men and telling them how they feel, and you ain't right, and you know, I love you so much, and you not understanding this, and you still doing me wrong. And that's what, in the 90s, what Mary's My Life album was. It was her speaking to Casey, telling her, I love you, but you doing me wrong. And I just had to throw Mary in there because y'all know I love Mary. But y'all know it makes sense. Y'all know it makes perfect sense of what I'm trying to say. Y'all get where I'm going. But number two is I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Loved You definitely defines 60s R&B. Now, the last album that I felt defined 60s R&B was actually a live album, and it was by the godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown. Now, I say this to say because during that time, the Apollo was it for R&B, for soul, period. It was just it. Before it was Soul Train in the 70s, it was Apollo. Apollo is where you wanted to play. That was just it. And I felt like James Brown live at the Apollo definitely gave you that feeling of that 60s vibe. You know what I'm saying? In the Apollo, and what it was like to be in there. You know what I mean? And actually, I think my grandparents was actually there for the making of Live at the Apollo. I think they were there. But, yeah, and it just, the Apollo was just it. And I mean, the Apollo is it now, but back then, there was no Madison Square Garden. There was, I mean, it was, but you didn't have black acts playing there. You know what I'm saying? So you had the Apollo, and that was for us. And that definitely was the 60s. Because, you know, for mainstream and white America, they had the Copacabana, and when you crossed over, that's what you went. That's why, like, Sam Cooke had the Live at the Copa, the Supremes had the Live at the Copa, Temptations had the Live at the Copa. But if you want the feeling of R&B, because when they did those type of albums, they had to make it mainstream. But at the Apollo, they sang because they put all their soul into it. And I think James Brown album definitely gave you that feeling. And I could just imagine, I wish people had a video of that of him, because they got the video of the 1968, but they don't have the video of the 1963 of him performing this. And I would love just to see him there and seeing the fans go crazy. Oh my God, and just give you that 60s feeling with everybody with their suits on and they just rocking with James, with their trench coats and with their hats on the side, and you know, some of them trying to do the hairstyles like James, and you know, it's just gave you that feeling. But I'm gonna go with I'll Go Crazy, the first song, because it just, and James Brown brought the funk to it.
You know, I feel alright, children. I feel alright. And believe me,
But I could just imagine every black family just playing this album. If you couldn't get to the Apollo, you had the Apollo in your house. Had the record player on, brought people over. Y'all had whatever drink was popular in the 60s. I wouldn't know. Maybe whiskey back then. Maybe that's what it was. I'm not too sure. I should have maybe asked my grandma on this, but my grandma don't drink like that. Oh God, if my grandpa would say, I could have asked him and he would have knew off the break. But yeah. And you just vibe out to the album. It just gives you that. And you hear the women just, hey. And then I felt like also James was talking for the fellas. Like, I just did this video with my brother Kill and my sister Kay. We just did this video. No, not this video. We did a podcast maybe a couple of weeks ago on R&B artists, right? So my family actually, you know, they got me on Boyz II Men. I was more, you know, even though I knew Jodeci, but Boyz II Men was for me because I was only like 7 or 8. And Jodeci is singing about stuff I don't even know what they're talking about. But my brother Kill was like, yo, I can't listen to that. Was sensitive. James Brown was talking for those sensitive cats. I don't care what you say, man. I'll go crazy. Like, he's like, baby, I'll go crazy for you. I'll do anything for you. I'll get on bended knee for you. Boyz II Men, bended knee for you. Like, I don't care. And then the next one, the next song was a big hit for him. But when them girls are singing, I could just imagine one of the dudes in the audience grabbing one of his girls and they getting up and they just rocking. Like, you know the image that I'm actually getting. If you've seen What's Love Got to Do With It, and she and her and Ike was performing A Fool in Love, and they was at the Apollo, and you could just see them getting down like that, and I could just see one of the dudes just grabbing the girl as soon as James did this. Try me. Just singing in her ear, and they just getting in, just having a good time at the Apollo. That's all I get from this, like having a great time. Next joint is Think. Now, Think really, because I was just talking to my mom before I did this video, and she was telling me, you know, before then I knew that my Uncle Bernard used to dance like James Brown, but I could just imagine every black family that got this album or whatever, and the next song probably came up, they probably was like, my grandfather was like, Bernard, get on up there, boy, and dance like James, and he probably got up and killed it. But my mom said after a while, he used to just do it, and everybody used to just watch him. So I could just imagine everybody just, and you know how James Brown do that one leg, and probably do a split and come on back up. Man, James bringing that funk, man, and I could just imagine every black boy dancing to James Brown, and their family is going over, they drinking their hand like, go on, boy, go on, you better kill that, and going off on it, and like, you better do that, boy, we can dig it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like that. So, you know, the last song I'm playing from this album is Lost Someone. That was a big song for James. But I feel as though with this song, I feel like I can hear like in Coming to America, but that's not 60s. But I feel like I can hear somebody opening and the guy just singing, I lost someone in the house and all this, and somebody in the other joint's like, yo, shut that shit up. Nobody want to hear that. Like, I really can feel that way, and I feel like that probably happened in the 60s a lot of times, because brothers sometimes realize they lost something, and they get to singing and feeling all bad, and somebody probably banging on the door and all that kind of stuff. So with the song Lose Someone, I got that feeling. So for me, I could say this album definitely gives you the 60s kind of vibe. If you having you a couple of drinks and you with your family like me, and we will play this album, and we sit there, and if my grandfather was alive, God bless his soul, he would probably be like, you know what I was doing during this time? I was with my cousin Howard, and I was with da-da-da-da-da, and we was doing this, and we could do this, and my grandma could see like, oh, you know, we had everybody at our house, because that's one thing, everybody used to come to my grandparents' house. That used to be the party house. Clearly, you can see why. But that was the party house, and my grandma be like, I'll be in the kitchen cooking, and the music playing, and everybody having all the good times. This album gave you that kind of vibe. So I felt like this album definitely represented 60s R&B because of what the Apollo meant to soul music back in the 60s. So hopefully, I hope you guys enjoy, but the albums that I felt that represented the 60s soul was Otis Redding, Otis Blue, Aretha Franklin's I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Loved You, and James Brown's Live at the Apollo. And hey, if you feel like maybe an album that you thought, put it in the comment box. You know, start commenting on the video. Tell me what you like and tell me what you didn't like. Hopefully you got the groove with me a little bit. And maybe add a song or something that defined the 60s for you. And tell me why. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And hey, since I went in with a medley, I'm going to go out with one song that I think everybody knows. And we going to go out like this. Peace, y'all.